And welcome back to the F1 Breakdown podcast with me, Just Trev, and Aidenator Gaming. How are you doing, dude?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Doing
It's
very
been
well,
such
thank
a
you.
long time.
I
It's been a
know,
long
yeah,
time since
I,
we had
I know, I know. I must apologize. The power that we're going through at the moment, our inverter's all knackered. So, but there is light at the end of the tunnel, and pardon the pun, and hopefully we'll have power back on. But before we get straight into this week's F1 Round 5 Miami, let's talk about F1 23 coming out 16th of June 2023. Are you going to pre-order it?
No, I'm waiting for the reviews. I'm waiting for the reviews. I'm sorry, but I have to be straight up. It's seen how they've done in the past with the games. So I got my head bitten off of speaking about this sort of subject with VA, and I'm just gonna wait for people's reviews
Mm.
because the multiplayer was an issue, AI was an issue,
Mm.
and all that stuff.
Mm.
And there wasn't.
I'm
Are you?
pre-ordering it. Yep, I'm going to pre-order the Champions Edition. If only if my YouTube channel pays out via Google, and it looks like it's gonna. So it looks like I will be able to afford that and pay my
Nice.
bills at the end of the month too. So that has been a horrible month so far, like 2-3 weeks, but now it's starting to look like there is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. And yeah, I have to. I love F1 that much that I will put up with a half broken game rather than no game. And they will release updates because if they get this horribly wrong, then I would imagine that there's going to be an awful lot of people that are going to say, you know what, I am permanently done with it. Look, I'll be honest with you, I got rid of F122 after we last mucked about with it. I actually uninstalled it. And for me to have done that, it has to be seriously flawed. And it is. It doesn't happen all the time, but it is. But, whatever. I'm going to get the Champions Edition. I'm going for the full thing. And I've got an EA Play thing, which gives me 10% off. And I get it
Oh,
for, I think, 5 to 10 hours prior to release. So that's if they do it proper this time around. Last time they didn't. So hopefully I'll get to play it and have a bit of fun and everything. I'm hoping. I mean, I like the fact that breaking point is coming back to a certain degree. The story mode with that idiot, whatever his name. I don't want even to say his name. Devin Butler. What an
oh.
arsehat. Oh God, the snarky git. I just don't like him one bit. But anyway,
Anyway,
yeah. Anyway,
let's.
let's get into this F1 round 5 Miami. What was your overall feel about sort of like the build up to it after Azerbaijan?
Well, seeing how it was this weekend, I'm not impressed. But how about you?
I don't know. Look, I think that I almost felt deflated after Azerbaijan. I was like, okay, so we were expecting, and maybe it was our own fault, sort of like hyping up the new parts coming in and everything, that we were going to see dramatic changes, which we'll kind of get into a little bit. But after this race, I've kind of felt deflated again because there hasn't been anything major impacted cars anywhere.
I was absolutely confused when you had people like teams like Mercedes, McLarens, and all that stuff. There's right at the top last weekend, but this weekend, half of them are at the bottom. And you think, hey, that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, particularly given how. Okay, well, firstly, we have to say this: no sprint race. I'm so
Oh,
excited. I was so happy that there was no sprint race. Yay!
yay.
It was enjoyable to watch the FP1, FP2, FP3. I actually got to see that in between the power outages and stuff like that. So I was happy to see that. But you're right though, because FP1, Russell, Hamilton, Leclerc. It's like I was like, wait, what now? I couldn't believe it. Russell and Hamilton, Mercedes. Okay, it is only FP1, but where the hell did Mercedes get that speed and everything? I was so confused. And then FP2 and FP3, it was back to sort of like the normal Verstappen, Sainz, Leclerc, and FP2, FP3, Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez. It's like the same old order. And Mercedes were woeful in FP3. What the hell did they do?
I don't know. Honestly, don't know.
Because that was what? They were, what, 11th and 13th or 10th and 13th or something like that. It was, what? From FP1 to being in the lead to FP3, it's such a dramatic change.
I'm surprised that Red Bull wasn't at the top of FP1, FP2, FP3. I was.
But that's the level of reliability that you can almost go, okay, they're probably testing out a couple of new things, maybe different setups, and they're going to bounce back. That's the confidence and that you have in Verstappen and Perez, and they did, and they did. I mean, boy, did they ever! But the others, wow, I was left scratching my head on FP3. I was like, okay, I don't get this. Why are they so slow? It doesn't make sense. I mean, we've got the likes of an Alpine, the two Alpines, 5th and 6th in FP3. Brilliant. I mean, Valtteri Bottas in 7th. I mean, Haas, Nico Hulkenberg in 8th. And Albon in 9th. And then you get Russell. It's like, what the hell? But then again, if you look at a little bit further down the line, Alonso in 12th in FP3, I was also scratching my head going, okay, what the hell is going on with Aston Martin?
Well, at least I believe they sorted the DRS issue out. So I believe the race, I think, proved that they sorted it out. But I'm confused.
Yeah, very confused, because I would have thought a company as big as Mercedes would be bringing in big parts. I know that this weekend coming, for Imola, right? That's the next one. They are bringing in, or Monza, whatever. They're bringing in mega parts apparently. So I don't know, man.
Mega parts, but they said that last time about the upgrades and the upgrades.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. FP2 Verstappen, Sainz, Leclerc, that's like the old guard. That's kind of what you expect. But Perez in 4th, Ferrari was looking good. Surprised by their speed, but during the race, man.
I suppose I could understand why Mercedes was a little lower, because they did change the control electronics and energy storage on Hamilton's and Russell's car.
Now, isn't that their final ones that they've got? So they're using old parts now? That's their quota now, isn't it?
I believe they've got one more. But again, this goes back to the point from last week saying about, they're not going to have enough. You're going to have to give them more, since you've got to go through sprint races, then you've got to go through normal races, and that's got 24 races this season, as we said. It's not going to be enough. They're going to be at the bottom of the grid this year.
It's like the FIA are just like treading water just to see where the bottom is. They're swimming around looking for the bottom. Like where does it bottom out, basically? Because all of these parts, what's going to happen like later on in the season when they're using old degraded parts? They're not going to be anywhere near as quick, and they're not quick as it is at the moment anyway. They're going to be mid to low field. Is this the FIA trying to sort of like balance out the field a little bit? But if they were, wouldn't they want the lesser teams to have more parts then?
I don't really see that being a thing, because Red Bull only one car's had a change, and
Yeah, I don't know. There's something just. I know we've said it all season so far, but there's something just isn't quite right with how the FAA are running this season so far. I mean, I just don't get it. But anyway,
Uh, uh,
yeah, who knows? Who knows what? And by all means, all the listeners, please leave your messages, and we'll have a look at them. Get into to the Discord, and there's a good F1 community. Come in and say hi and everything like that, and let us know your thoughts, man. Anything you want to
yeah,
talk about in the FPs?
yes, I do. The
Go on.
crashes, Jesus Christ! You had Charles crash in practice too. That was.
That was wonderful, and then he did exactly the same thing in the quali.
Uh, then you had Kevin Magnuson's spin.
Mm-hmm.
That was a very, very close one to the wall.
Yep.
That was. Then you had Hulkenberg into the wall.
Yep.
Then you had Alex having a nice drift. Then you had.
But he held it well, though, didn't he?
Oh, that is.
That's masterclass. That was.
Chef's kiss. Then you have Magnuson's lockup, Checo's lockup. Then you had Gasly off the track. Russell as well. That was no. Scrap that idea. No, Verstappen. That's it. I don't.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
traffic
Verstappen. Yeah.
again. I noticed the traffic. There was a lot more. I know it's a street circuit, or is it whatever? But there's a lot of traffic again. I'm not
Yeah.
sure
There
if you
was.
noticed.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't as bad as a couple of rounds ago. Whatever that place
Australia.
was. Well,
Australia.
well, Australia was actually.
Yeah,
Mind
that
you,
was it.
no, you're right. I mean, all the street circuits have got a lot of traffic in it, and there just seems to like nobody's paying attention to where the other cars are. Again, I don't know.
I
I
don't know.
think,
Then
I
you,
mean, maybe all the drivers should be the Muppet of the race, if that's the case. Who knows?
then you had Checo. That was. Let's get into Checo. He nearly had a collision with a car in front of him and the wall. He went in too deep into the corner.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't. I don't think he was aware of the brakes at the time, but he nearly went into the back of someone's car. Then you got a black and white flag as well for crossing the pit entry
Yeah, it's
line
all
or whatever.
happening. I mean, actually, if you think about it, free practice was a lot more exciting than the actual race itself.
Yeah, you could say that.
Which is kind of weird, but yeah, no, I mean, it
Then
was, yeah.
something else I also noticed was the unsafe releases. How many was there?
Yeah, there were some tight ones, wasn't there? There was a couple of, like I said, I didn't get to see all of the free practice. I got to see some of the free practices, but I did get to see all of the free practices, but not all
Cutting
of
up in the
them.
pits. There's a
Okay.
lot of. Then again, our friend Yuki.
Yeah. Oh.
Hello.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he moans again. End of that. Anything else?
Not that
That
I
was
can think of. Yeah.
nice. That was a close call. Had that massive oversteer.
I see our friend was at the race this time round, obviously being
Yes,
an American.
Talking about that.
Go on then.
The last week, McLaren did pretty well, and we didn't see Zach in sight, did we? But this week
Correct.
we saw Zach in sight, and how was their performance?
Poor. Really, really poor.
I said to myself, "Oh yeah, that's funny how last week that was really decent. This week they're poor."
Yeah, they're absolutely woeful. Yeah, it was not a good race by any stretch of the imagination. I've got a sneaking suspicion that this podcast is going to be quite a bit shorter because I think all the excitement. There's not a lot to talk about actually because all the free practice stuff was more exciting than the actual race itself. Although there were some good moments, but which we will touch on. But let's just get straight into the quali and talk about that because Leclerc to me just seems like he's like a journeyman at the moment, like the end of his career. He looks so uninterested in anything that is happening, and he's just pushing
Mm.
on the track way too hard. I mean, obviously you got to try and push to see where the limits are and things like that of the car and the tires and everything like that. But he messed it up for everybody. But
Oh yeah,
in the same
but
breath, he really actually set up a really exciting lineup for the start of the race.
was jump. No, I got it in my notes. Checo 1 and Max 9 would laugh.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he messed up his first run though, Max. So he didn't. He should have actually just committed and got a lap in.
Oh yeah.
Regardless of what it was, it would have been better than ninth anyway. But the end result is, it is the end result. He won the race anyway. But that quali was kind of exciting, and I mean that if it had been anywhere else where Leclerc went off, if that had happened anywhere else, that would have been quite a heavy impact. He's
Oh
lucky to
yeah.
get away with that.
That was a crazy one. Then I can't believe I'm so well. Stroll and Hamilton
Mm.
out Q1 and Q2. So Stroll out Q1 and Hamilton out Q2.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah,
that was
unheard of.
yeah. I shouldn't be saying Hamilton out Q2. I should be saying he was in first place in Q3, but unfortunately not.
No, yeah, it wasn't good, and to see an Aston go from such a good couple of 4 races, 5 races or whatever, 4 races to go out that early, I was very surprised. I mean, Alonso wasn't sort of like really there or thereabouts either, was he? I mean,
No.
he eventually did, thanks to Leclerc, but still, I mean, if you look at the entire lineup of the order, Perez, Alonso, Sainz, you're going, okay, it's interesting start to the race, thanks Leclerc. But you look at Haas, what a beauty from Magnussen. I mean,
Oh yeah,
that was
really fine.
just a magnificent lap. Gasly, you go, yeah, I mean, he even got a good one in the Alpine. I mean, the person I feel mostly for is Logan Sargent in his home race. In general,
Oh,
Williams, but Albon did well to get to 11 anyway.
oh yeah. The the one who I felt a little sorry for was Zoo. Ferrari was blocking him on a lap of on a
Joe
actual
Guan Yu.
yeah.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah,
Uh,
he was on a good lap. Yeah, yeah, very good lap.
and I don't know which one it was blocked him. So the, then again,
Traffic.
Alpha
Traffic.
Alpha Tori unsafe release in front of Hulkenberg. Then something I want to talk about is what happened to McLaren.
Again, they're not even on my notes, and that just tells you one thing.
Both
Piss
out
poor.
Q1.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That's like going back to the start of the season. It's a regress. They haven't even progressed. It's a regress. It's
right.
terrible.
To Bahrain. Uh,
Whew, jeepers, man. I just don't. I don't get what is going on there, man. At McLaren, like we've been saying this all season so far. What on earth is going on there? And none of it makes sense.
I
To
believe this weekend, I believe Zach Brown spoke about James Key in a Sky Sports F1 video or something like that, or F1. It's either I know it's somewhere on one of them YouTube channels. He was speaking about James Key and all that stuff, and
yeah,
I think we don't really need to know about that. We already know that he's gone and how something he was SIT, no SHIT. He was. But
I think you know what, and we've said this before, and I've certainly said it before. Zach Brown needs to go. Yeah, that's the
Yes.
only thing that I can see happening, turning this team around, because the way that Lando was talking about the car and in the post race interviews, it's this is how it's going to be for the rest of the year.
He just needs to go simple as. He just needs to go to a different team.
I
And
think that's inevitable. At this point, 5 races in, the team is regressing, not even progressing. I particularly after this showing. I mean, how many times are we going to say wait till the next race? Let's see what the next race does. We're 5 races in out of 23 or whatever, and still no good. So it's like I said last time around. How much of a chance do you give a team or a driver before you say, okay, that's it, you're out, or you're just not good anymore?
halfway point, as you're speaking about that from last week, I still haven't forgotten. In August, we'll come back to seeing how our 3 newcomers are. I still haven't forgotten
Yep.
about that, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. August, we are going to reassess where we are. And I hope it's different for McLaren, and particularly for Lando, because I like Lando. I like him as a driver and as a person. But he just looks so demoralized, and every time it's like, oh God, what's the interview going to be like? And you just kind of know in the back of your head it's not going to be a good one.
No.
I feel for him.
Yeah,
Anyway, but I feel for Williams this race, but at least Albon did well to get to 11th in qualification. So
well, one
that's
thing I
good.
didn't feel sorry for was Max Verstappen. I didn't feel sorry for him, but anyway.
Look, he was a lot more cheery this time round, but that's, I guess, racing in America. Everything's bigger, and so they say better. But yeah. Let's get into the pre-race. We touched on it before we started recording, and this whole
Yes, so
LL Cool J grand showmanship of announcing the drivers. What the flip?
yeah, the driver's introduction. What
What?
on earth is that? What on,
I don't know.
that
What
was the
what
most
what?
cringiest thing
A
I've ever
colossal
seen in
waste
my
of time.
entire life. Max
Agreed.
Verstappen, Nico Hulkenberg. I sat there thinking, oh yeah, is he gonna do Daniel's Nico Hulkenberg or whatever it is?
Hickenberg.
Hulkenberg. I was waiting for him to do that, but he didn't. So
Oh dear. Yeah, no, it's very
wasn't
cringeworthy.
Will Smith doing the conducting at the front, or
No,
was
it
it
wasn't
someone
Will
else?
Smith. It was some other dude from the Black Eyed Peas. Whatever. Will I Am. That's
Oh
who it was.
yeah,
Will I Am. That's yeah. I don't know. I don't know if you saw the post race thing on YouTube with Will Buxton and so on. Oh, it's like what? Maybe maybe these guys do a lot of good for the community, which is I respect and whatever. But nah, not an F1, man. Just put these guys in a
I get,
car and let them race.
I get they're trying to make the whole of America actually think, oh yeah, we can have an F1 car race around our city
This
or
is
streets or
this is
town or village or
exactly
whatever.
this is
And
exactly the FIA
I,
trying to get into America, break into it big time.
I don't think a bit of music then saying, here comes Lando Norris and all that stuff. I don't think that's gonna.
Oh
I don't
god,
really
yeah.
think that's gonna change the mayor's view on FIA or F1 or
It
whatever.
was I look I'm when you said cringeworthy, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly how I felt. It's nice to see the drivers getting recognized and stuff like that, but to do it in that way, nah. It was all the
First of all,
razzmatazz and
I
nah.
said to myself at first, I thought, oh yeah, it's okay. But then reading through every single comment, everyone's saying, please don't ever do this again. This is so cringy.
Yeah.
And it is. It's complete cringy. And please never do that again, FIA.
But it is the FIA trying to score points with the American audience and you break in
Yeah,
even more. You could see it
yeah,
clearly. I mean,
but
America's such a big country. They could have the
uh,
whole
uh,
flipping season there.
I think I see someone apparently from Miami, I believe, in Florida or something like that, saying, "Oh yeah, please never do that again." I forgot who it was, but I remember seeing that
Yeah.
on
No, I
the
agree. I
video.
agree. You know what? Maybe they can just do that in America, but for the love of God, please don't do that everywhere else.
Please
Whatever.
never do that in England. Absolutely.
Oh
Please
God,
never
no,
do.
no, no.
Please
Anyway,
don't do it if you go to South Africa. Please don't do that either. Please don't
please
do
don't.
that if you go back to Monaco.
Actually, just stop doing it completely.
Yeah, exactly that. Uh,
All right, come on. Let's do it. Let's get into
oh,
the race.
are we allowed to? I've only got 4. How many points have I got on this? Yes, I've only got 4 bullet points on the
I don't,
race.
you know what? This is going to be the shortest podcast of the season to date so far. We're only at 25 minutes. It's going to be a really short because the race itself, in general, wasn't all that exciting. There were some really good moments, and I would say probably Verstappen driving on those hard tires blew my mind. I thought that was an absolute brilliant strategy, and to last that long, and to it just shows you the pace and the geniusness of Verstappen's driving ability to race for that long on those tires and make up places and catch Perez.
DRS, so Jesus, and even on the hard tires, you still haven't got a leg to stand on. It was literally
And that must be so frightening for the other cars to see that the yellow nose of that Red Bull coming up and just whoom, there it goes right on by.
they don't even fight it. They just think, oh yeah, here comes Max. They're just gonna let him pass. There's no point of
Yeah,
wasting our tires.
not one made it difficult. Not one car made it difficult because it's, as you said, it's pointless. It's just, regardless. But
Even
I
Checo, Checo. I know he tried his best to stop Max, but you see him just thinking, oh yeah, you can have it. There you go.
yeah,
It's
wrong tire strategy could have been different for Perez, but for him to still be there, chasing, nipping at the heels of Verstappen, which is the most important thing, is great. And for Alonso, again, what a great race, man! And to say how was Stroll's overtake on whatever? He's watching the big screen while driving. I mean, just
yeah.
absolutely ridiculous. He's having the time of his life, man.
I don't get how I don't get how he does it. Last week he was saying, or in Australia, he was saying, "Oh yeah, this person's doing that, that person's doing that, that person's doing this." I said, "Oh yeah, I don't know how you could do that." And plus, racing by looking at the screen and all, I
It,
still
it's
don't
it,
get it.
it's amazing. It just shows you that he's completely in tune with the car. The car's comfortable to drive, and he's got total trust in the brakes and everything in that car. That whole setup is just looking so good. And if they've got more stuff coming this weekend, man, am I looking forward to seeing what can be done. I'm looking forward to that moment when he gets that podium, that first spot.
Hopefully, it's a Red Bull killer. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it is a Red Bull killer.
Maybe
It would
next
be
year.
nice.
I don't think it's going to happen this year, but they are on the right trajectory. That's for sure.
Every
Amazing.
team needs to
Yeah,
take
but
note.
they are, aren't they? Though there are some other teams that have taken a note of the car design and everything like that, and started doing some stuff with the floor and the wings and sort of like
Mercedes.
basing it off exactly off the I almost said McLaren. Of the Aston Martin McLaren. What a joke. Come on. Oh, I had such high hopes this year for McLaren. Boy, have I been led down the garden path and shot squarely in the back of the head. Bloody hell, what a disappointment.
That first corner, Bottas and one McLaren, I believe it was Lando, went really wide at turn one. That
Mm.
was
That was pretty much it.
that was Charles and Kevin Magnussen's battle. That
Ah,
was
that was
pretty
good, wasn't it?
interesting.
That was good. That was clever of Magnuson to not fight that first, and then he just said, "No, I've got the second DRS. I'll just take it back. Thank you very much."
It
Brilliant.
was one in front, then one at the back, one in front, one.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good, and it was good driving ability from everybody. There were no major accidents. Nothing.
Except
I was so surprised.
Carlos when he carried a bit too much speed into the pit.
He must be.
Had a lot.
Oh, I noticed they didn't play any of his radio chat. I would have loved to have heard what he thought about that 5-second penalty.
Well, this week I'm not going to defend him like Australia. So,
No, he was wrong. He went over the line. He locked all 4 tires. Yeah, he knew it. I mean,
yeah, I've already forgotten about Australia, so
right. So let's have a little think about what's coming up next.
But we've forgotten about something.
Go on then. I know what you can say. Go on.
Can you tell me what I'm going to speak about?
Go on. I'm listening.
McLaren, yes, our friends again. What on earth again? What happened there? Oscar having issues with the car. Lando also having problems with the car.
Yeah, it's the same old, it seems. Ugh.
But anyway, moving on.
Yep, exactly. So let's have a quick little preview. I'll talk about Italy and that track very quickly. We've got no sprint race. Yay! It's going to be practice 1, 2, and 3, qualifying, and a race, which is really makes me happy. Unfortunately, I'm not going to see anything of the free practices, but I will see the qualifying and I will see the race. Yay! Fantastic. I'm looking forward to that.
Qualifying.
What time is it? This, it says here the qualifying is at 4 p.m. I take it that is South African Standard Time, I think. Oh, those are track times, so I don't know what time that is. No idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Saturday because quite recently I'm pretty busy, but I'll see.
Listen to you.
Yes.
Popular boy.
It's not the best busy that you want to have to be, but anyway.
Well, so anyway, so we got Italy next week, and everybody's been saying that a lot of the teams saying they got a lot of major upgrades coming. Mercedes are one of them saying they've got big major upgrades coming.
Upgrades, upgrades, updates, upgrades.
I don't think it's going to matter.
Well, let's see how delusional they are.
Delusional, yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
What else can we speak about?
Okay, well, we got to do the high, the low, the Muppet, and the rate. So,
but before that, I want to speak about the shortening of the DRS zones.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it makes a difference. If you're Red Bull, I guess it doesn't make a difference. If you're the other teams, it makes a world of difference. So I don't know. I don't know why they're doing it. I don't understand. It's 70 meters. You know, what's the point when you're going at 300 miles per hour, whatever, 300 kilometers an hour? Does it really matter if it's 70 meters short? Probably not.
Just completely scrap the DRS and completely scrap sprint races.
Well, you see, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was saying, why do we need the sprint races? It's a load of crap. I know you're trying to say to everybody, lure people into the track, to be part of the experience of a F1 race and all that sort of thing. But for TV purposes, it's my opinion, of course. Scrap it. And just get rid, like you say, get rid of the DRS. Everybody's on equal terms. Nobody has an advantage over anybody else. And then just race.
Or why don't the FIA make every single team's car, but the teams have to put their own branding, like their own stickers and colour choices. So the FIA makes all the engine parts, the body parts as well.
Ooh.
So every team has the same. There's no sort of, oh yeah, you're going to be better than the other team. It's all
What
equal. So
does?
then the smaller teams.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Doesn't aren't they team? Is it F2 or F3? They do that already.
Yeah, F2 does that, but it would be nice if F1 did that. So every team, AlphaTauri, the teams right at the back would be equal to Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, and all that stuff.
I
That
don't
obviously that's
think.
right.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I like
Well,
the whole engineers like going head to head and car designers and so on. Oh no. I mean, hell, they're testing with sprint races. Why can't they test with no DRS in a race and see what happens? You know,
uh,
if that's how FIA are treating all the races so far.
or just do the entire great thing of scrapping this entire season. We already know who's going to be the winner. Come on.
Jesus, can you imagine the millions they'd lose? Anyway, okay, you go first. Then the high, low, Muppet, and rate. Go on.
So my driver of the day would be Alonso. That is a great performance from him today, and especially looking at the TV screen while racing. I don't get it. Muppet of the day. I said to you at the beginning of this. I know what we forgot to speak about. Getting to this last point. So I'm going to quickly pause Muppet of the day. Lando Norris nearly running over a cameraman. That seems like last week when Ocon nearly plowed
Right,
a bunch of people down.
right. I didn't. I didn't see that because of the power outages and whatnot. So I didn't get to see that. But yeah, you told me before we started recording that's what happened. I was like, I didn't even hear anything about it. No news, nothing. I didn't read about it. Nothing. That's amazing. They're still not getting it right. You see now that. See, this begs the question, though, Aiden. Is this an FIA fuck up, or is it going to be the people controlling the pit lane?
So the FIA, from what Ted Kravitz said, it's the FIA.
Right.
Since I believe the camera people are part of the FIA, so
Jeepers.
obviously I know the marshals are there to control all of them. So, but I'd say it's the FIA's issue. So I originally did say McLaren from my Muppet of the day because I don't know what the hell happened there. But I'm
Right.
going to swap it to the FIA because they seriously haven't learnt the lesson from last week.
You know what? They're only going to learn the
And
lesson when somebody gets injured and something bad goes wrong.
I don't know. Then
You know what? Okay, go on, rate it. Yeah. Go on.
No, I'll let you continue.
No. I was just going to talk about something about the pre-race everything with Martin. What's his name? Bundle, whatever Brundle. In the pit lane chat thing, pit lane walk or whatever the start finish walk.
That. So I'll let you.
Jackie Stewart was he was such a boss, man. He just said to security, no, I'm going over this tape. And they tried to stop him to get to Roger Federer and all this. And Jackie was like, no, he's going to get Federer to come and talk to Martin on Sky Sports. I thought that those that have watched the race and seen the highlights, Jackie Stewart is the boss. Simple as that. Nobody can stop Jackie, man. Absolutely brilliant.
Before, when I was streaming earlier, I thought see something about Jackie Stewart should he get in trouble for something. Obviously, I didn't get to see everything because I was too busy streaming. But you talking about? I didn't see the drivers parade. No, pit walk or whatever it's called.
Whatever they call it. Yeah, I forget what they call it.
Obviously, I don't really want to look at that stuff.
I tell you what, Jackie Stewart's is such a boss, man. I tell you what, that was absolutely priceless, absolutely hilarious. Security tried to stop him and twice. Two big guys tried to like haul him back, and no, he wasn't going to have any. He was going to get to Roger Federer, use his fame to get Federer to come and speak to Martin, and he did. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. This was just before the that stupid driver announcement stuff that they had.
Hmm. I only saw that part. I didn't. I'm not the person for the grid walk or
The grid
whatever it
walk,
is.
that's it. Grid walk. There you go. Okay, so what do you rate the race then?
As I said to you, I absolutely struggled this week to pick my drive of the day, the mapping of the day, and the rate of the race. I absolutely struggled. I just threw Alonso's name of the driver of the day, threw McLaren and the FIA into the Muppet of the day. I couldn't.
Right.
I said to myself, who the hell am I going to pick? So I'm rating this race a 3.5.
Wow. It was a boring race, though, wasn't it? It was. There was nothing there that was really like sort of spectacular or standout. Nothing like that. But anyway, okay. So yeah, we go with my high of the race was Red Bull's pace and Verstappen's mastery on the hard tires. Simple as that. I was a big high watching him weave through on a track course, on a street course, doing all he's got to do to get to the front, and just brilliant. Just keep in touch, and those, what is it, 50 laps or so, just short of 50 laps, whatever it was on those hard tires, brilliant. The low for me of the race was, again, like you, a bit of a struggle to come up with these things, but I would have said the weather. I think there was prediction of perhaps some rain. It rained overnight, not during the race. I would have loved for it to
Yeah,
have
there was an,
rained. Yeah, that to
no,
me would
no,
have
there was
been
one about
something.
the weather, about the temperature rising. So Checo, because Max was in the mediums, Checo was hoping for Max's tyres to,
Burn through, yeah. Yeah, it didn't
but
happen.
obviously that didn't happen.
Muppet of
That
the
that
race. Go on.
that was a very. I wasn't. I never thought about saying weather as a sort of whatever as a downfall or. But anyway, carry on.
Yep.
Muppet of the
Anyway,
day.
so Muppet of the race. I didn't have any. I didn't know anything about the incident with Lando Norris. So I didn't have anything. Although I will say this, now that I know what happened, I actually put in brackets here. I said none, and not even the FIA could FIA this one up. Well, we'll scrap that. Muppet of the race, the FIA. There we go. And
So
I didn't know anything about it. I didn't read anything about it. Nothing. So there we go.
these 5 races so far have been FIA,
Yeah.
FIA, FIA,
Yeah.
FIA, FIA,
I mean, what
FIA.
does that tell us, right?
Next week,
They're effing it up. That's what's happening. Let me rate this first, and then we'll talk about next week.
okay.
Rate for me, I would say 5. Nothing more than that. It's not deserved of a 5.2 or whatever. It's if anything, it should probably go down to a 4.5 or something like that. It wasn't
Average
a spectacular race. It was just Verstappen, a couple of overtakes here and there. Alonso's brilliance. Yeah, 5, just standard average, really.
Well, I said 4, but obviously I put it down to a 3.5 as talking about everything is I wasn't impressed. It
Which
was
is why
kind of
we give ourselves some time to sort of like take it
yeah.
in, think about it, and in hindsight have then a thought about it. And initially, I thought this race was probably going to be a 7 or something like that, but no, there you go,
No,
a 5. Not anywhere near a 7. I've got a feeling next week is going to be very interesting, though.
hopefully every team actually what's that saying? Did talk whatever the hell it is.
Walk the walk and
Well,
talk the talk, or whatever.
yeah, that
Yeah,
about their upgrades. Hopefully,
yeah.
they
I
don't
mean,
have to
look,
walk the
I, I don't know if you saw any of the post race interviews, but Lando's discussion about the parts coming in from the factory, yeah, it's over. Don't even bother. He would be in the know. Hopefully, he's something happens and it all
Oh,
kind of magically works. But the way he's talking about, nothing's going to be a spectacular change the car. It's just going to be adapting to a different style. That's it.
well, he said at the beginning, oh, oh yeah, I've got hope in it, but you saying that doesn't sound very hopey, does it?
No, not at all. I don't think it's hopey at all. But anyway, right, there we go. It is our shortest podcast at 45 minutes so far. I appreciate everybody listening. We appreciate everybody listening. It is truly appreciated. If you're on the YouTube channel, don't forget to hit like and look at those links and get into Aiden Gaming's channel and subscribe to his channel. And like this, if you would, it's a free way to show support. It's greatly appreciated. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe because we're going to do a analysis of a breakdown podcast of all the races for the forthcoming season, and all the races and everything like that. Next week it is Italy. Oh, I'm looking. It's one of my
Yay,
favorite tracks. I'm looking forward to that very much.
yay.
Yay! There we go. All right,
Hopefully,
guys. Hopefully, hopefully,
hopefully, hopefully.
hopefully, what?
I don't know. But anyway, uh,
We live in hopefully, whatever that is.
how long will we be going for? This, I thought we was actually going to go for an hour.
Well,
I
it's
said
40.
to myself,
It's 46 minutes. So I mean, that's pretty good.
ah,
There we go. Okay. Anyway,
anyway,
there we go. We're going to end it off there. Thank you to everybody that continues to listen on Spotify and wherever else you get your podcasts from. We appreciate it very much. I've been Just Trev.
and I've been Aiden Gaming, aka Aiden. But
There we go. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Keep well. See you all again next time round. Round 6.
yay.